Hello and good evening. We are back, everybody. And as we always say, hey, you guys, want to do a dungeon with me? So, we don't really do dungeons here. We play Magic and lots of it. So, as you can see, I'm back, baby, on the board, making victory happen. So, I figured I'd just do a loose show tonight, no real script, just make some jokes, play some games, and show you what I can do. So just to be clear that to obtain this footage you are now watching, I played a little under an hour, I think about 50 minutes to get this many wins in a row. Pat myself on the back, but hey, it's my video so I can do what I want. Wild and windy out there today. I can tell you that the news is not good anywhere in this world. So, for now, let's just narrate the game. I am playing a black control, black good stuff deck on this round for the arena. It's not really listed anywhere. It's just kind of me throwing junk together and seeing what hits the win. But it does do very good. Uh, Mono decks usually don't have wins like this. I mean, mono red. In recent times, mono white has kind of made a showing. And mono black's always a perennial pop up. But usually you don't want to play monos. I am still mastering the metagame of mana bases. So I keep the two killers or one. It helps my consistency out a lot. I tend not to play special lands unless I have to. Here we go with this game. So here I am, mono black, got a decent hand. As you can see, uh, the idea is to get Shieldred, which is in my hand yet, out, and let him pump you for cards. And then use stuff like Virtue to either kill off a creature and give me life, or just start creating stuff back from the grave, and use Black Sun's Twilight as removal, plus his +5 mode to recur from the graveyard. Simple plan, and then I add in stuff like Creature of the Schism, Unholy Annex, and of course a few demons from Duskmourn to finish out the engine. So, here we go. There's my Breach the Multiverse, fun that's always useful. Gonna go for Preacher, of course. Preacher is highly versatile. It just doesn't do one thing, it does a lot of things. It's a draw engine, it's a token creator. Shoot the Sheriff, takes him down. I love the fact that Shoot the Sheriff is cheaper than a normal kill spell. And its restriction is just so non-restrictive, non-outlaw. Like, we're past an injunction, outlaw is not really a big deal anymore. Oh, I thought I was so smart doing this. Look at this. I am taking up that Vindicator in a strange way. I lost card advantage on it, but I was so proud because Vindicator is one of the cards that's a real hurdle for this deck. And boom, he's got Vindicator right back on the board, and I'm like, shoot, what the hell do I do? But I have Black Sun's Twilight, so I'm going to use that, but I can't do it yet because I'm short of mana, and it'll bring back my Creature of the Schism for free. So that'll be a 2-for-1. I'll regain my card advantage, so I'm okay with him having that. Here comes Red Position Raid, and he kind of fucked up my plan by putting counters on his Vindicator. Because now I need even more mana to power my Sun's Twilight to get rid of it, and he's going to keep doing it. I don't think he knows I have Black Suns. I don't really see Black Sun being used a lot by other people, so it's because it can become an expensive kill spell for trying to use the +5 move on it. Gonna put up my children. Hope it helps me uh, gain some kind of equilibrium as far as life gain, life loss is going. And of course, he's playing out all these moves. I gotta take it. That hurt. I didn't get the mana. I'm gonna have to do something here. Go ahead and use Preacher, get my token, use Lifelink. It's not even stabilizing. I don't know how I'm going to pull this off at this point. And a murder takes out Shieldred, which was my bigger point of stabilization in this game. So now what do? I don't have the mana to Black Sun Twilight, and his Vindicator is just rolling over me like nobody's business. And that may have been his failed mistakes not attacking that turn. He could have blocked the bunny tokens, and I still would have been in a bad position. Why did I play the demon side first on that unholy annex was because I did not feel like I could afford to lose more life. Uh, Master Girl doesn't come across because, of course, I don't lose her. Right now, she's getting my card draw engine. I need that mana so I can play my Black Sun. And all the blocks go how I thought they were. I would have actually been okay with him taking Preacher, although to be honest, it wouldn't have worked out in my favor because Preacher would prevent damage, keeping my death touch from happening. But still, would have been okay. I still would have won this one just as I did. Here comes Funeral Room. Now, I really don't know what his purpose of Funeral Room was at this point because uh, I would gladly lose life to get rid of his Vindicator at this point. And again, no attack. I won't say it was a mistake with the 6/6 Flying Demon on board. He wasn't going to do much against me. And here I realized that I don't have the mana for Black Sun. But I do have New Shieldred. New Shieldred forces me to sack a creature. Goodbye, I'll take the damage from Funeral Room because who cares, and this is my victory. Winner! Chicken dinner. Now we'll go to another game. Unstable Slashers, another card that I haven't talked about. I will probably talk about that card in length because it is so good at some point. But before I get down with it, I want to discuss Obliterator. Now, Obliterator has been talked about before. It saw a lot of play when it first came out in All Will Be One, but honestly, it's still good. It's a capital defense card. And if you've already got in the defensive board, its ability also makes it offensive because how are you going to block this thing when you just have to sack it if you do? It's just great in both slots. Now back to the Slasher. The Slasher is good because it doesn't die. It comes back when you kill it. Auto recursion, no mana paid. The only penalty is it's tapped for 2 turns, and if it's killed while it's tapped, then it actually dies. Now, I've misspoken. It's not just that it's tapped. It has to be killed while it has done the counter which, unless you're playing blue, the only way that happens is by using this recursion ability. So, very key piece in a lot of plays. I believe in this game in particular that you see that happen. This is a slow build-up. I don't think either of us had the mana in hand that we needed to actually just go full force off rip. But he does take a little bit of time thinking about it. So while we're waiting, we're going to discuss the board itself. So one thing that I truly am enamored of with Arena is the cosmetic thought they put into it. Not only does each set get its own board, and they randomize what boards you play on, but all the amount of clickable things around these boards. And there you see, Slasher got killed, he came back, he's stunned, he can only be truly killed before the next turn. If he does not kill him right now, I get to keep Slasher. So we will see if that happens. So now we're going through, and he missed his chance. I have my Slasher back completely now, and I can attack him the next turn. And I've got Apocalypse in my hand, Apocalypse on the board. I'm not really seeing out for him, especially with only 3 mana, and he sees no out also. And goodbye, sir, new game. So you'll see something I did in this deck that is highly questionable, the Thraxodemon. So why is the Thraxodemon there? It's because it only counts 2. It counts as a demon, thereby allowing me to play Holy Annex without losing life. Its ability is at best, and a 2/2 for 2 isn't really terrible. Now the ability, I gotta say, because everybody that plays can look at it and go, this Dockside Extortionist kind of. And you're right, but this deck isn't built for Dockside Extortionist. This ability of having to sacrifice things to draw cards isn't going to really be a good engine of this deck. It's a good fallback if I really needed it, but it's not going to perform in this deck like if the deck was built more to play with Dockside Extortionist. Or turn 3, why I'm attacking here is because I don't care about Demon, and getting rid of his creature would be, in my opinion, a great trade for a creature that I don't care about. And it has a +1 ability, so it's going to keep getting stronger as long as it keeps fulfilling the conditions on it. Chandra Sparkhunter. I love the art from Aether Drift with some of these characters, even though it's a hat set. It's still a good set flavor-wise, art-wise, and card design-wise. I think it's a pretty good set. And here I go. Here's where I can get serious. I can put out my Massacre Girl. It's not going to do me any good this turn because, again, although I don't care about Demon, I'm not going to just give him up just to give him up. But that's okay. I'm looking at my hand. I've got Sheoldred. I've got Creature of Schism. Like, there is nothing that's bad for me. Broadside Barrage. That is very nice for 3 mana, 5 damage, and a card exchange. That's pretty good. Again, his creature gets pluses off discards, so he's made that condition. Like, it's very synergistic, and it's kind of cheap for 5 damage. Sparkhunter is the same way. I mean, this deck is just full of synergy, full of pop-off. It was just too slow in this match, and I'm not sure if that was based on his hand or the deck is slow. I'm going to say it's based off his hand because, again, I didn't see a lot of the deck. As you see, once I start taking off on it, I will clear his board and I will just rue the day. Okay, I finally got my Sheoldred out. He's going to pop that creature. That's fine by me. I realize that when it comes to Planeswalkers, you want to take them down first. Now, sometimes it's situationally dependent, but in general, if you don't have a good read on the game, the Planeswalkers need to go. Sometimes killing the opponent off is the route, but you got to remember those Planeswalkers, if they pop off on the ultimate, that's a game changer that is extremely hard to recover from. So that's the goal right now, even though Chandra's not really doing a ton for him. It was plussing up his creature, now his creature's gone. And of course, I was going to use Sheoldred's ability at this point, but I didn't have the mana, so I'm going with Creature. Going to hit Chandra again because, like I said, don't let it pop off. Even though I'm not intimately familiar with this set yet, I don't keep up on cards like I used to, so I don't have every ability memorized. And I should have actually taken the time to read Chandra's abilities. But at this point, I felt the game was in my hand, so I did. And it worked out, but I'm just saying, future reference, if you're ever in this situation, it's always nice to know what cards do what. Usually I do pay a lot more attention, but since like Murder's at Karloff Manor, I've just kind of been meh on the game, so actually doing preview season, actually looking at every important meta card's abilities has been kind of off my plate. And he does another barrage, he gets rid of my Sheoldred, but he just helped me and he didn't realize it. Now, I don't think I would have, depending on what my draw was, I probably would have did what I did anyway, but this Ill-Timed Explosion sort of sealed the fate on it. Because now he's cleared the board, he's got high life, and he can really build Chandra. I have to do something at this point. I can't play build the board game with him, especially the way he keeps effing it up for me. So I'm going to go ahead and Sheoldred, which will get rid of Chandra for me. Again, I'm not really sure what his end game with Chandra was, because her abilities, while good, in a vacuum, they're kind of meh. So the goal was just to empty his board. I don't have to worry about anything. Now I can concentrate on knocking him down. My choices are limited. I realized that activating him before going red was not the way to do it. Then I'm going to activate him. It's going to whiff on the first mode of the saga, which is fine. I wasn't worried about that. But I do know we both have pretty full graveyards. And I'm trying to get True Scriptures up to 3. And that's really the goal. That's really how I'm going to win the game. And that is how I win the game. Now, the speed mechanic, which he has not been able to really use a lot of, I should say, I actually like it. Some people think it's slow, but I think of it like a Planeswalker's Ultimate. It gives you a nice ability. I won't say game changing. It really depends on the card that you're using to maximize it, but it takes time to build up to there. But it's worth it when you get there. He's going to ill time. I don't know why. It's not going to hit my true scriptures. I'm going to be able to do what I want to do. Maybe he was just searching for a certain card at that point. Monument to Endurance. Magic tends to come with these monuments, and they're always nice. Monument to Atraka, monument to everything. It's like a cycle, but they weave it in and out of different sets. Now I've got my Breach. Now the Breach here was good. This was like a pro move right here, 100, because I've just loaded the grave room even more. And I'm going to take a Chandra because I've never seen it before and I want to play with Chandra at that point. But I'm also going to take a Preacher so I can get some card draw if things are going good. Chandra gives you card draw, but it's not as great because I got discard, and I'm not built for discards. I'm going to go ahead and discard the extra Shieldred. I don't know. You can have multiple True Scriptures, so play multiple Shieldreds in your deck to where you just keep kind of pumping and bumping them out there. Once you get True Scriptures on one, put the next one out, and you True Scripture it, so you can sort of cycle them and not have them all in the field at once, so they're not legendarily rule affected. But it's also mana intensive and diminishing returns, so make a choice there. Weirdest name card seen on set, Venixfu, whatever, how you pronounce it. And I'm still waiting. True Scriptures comes. Now at this point, I was like, I've still got him on the attack anyway. F him, I've won. It doesn't matter. But watch what happens. Gotta get rid of my extra shields. And sacrifice, sacrifice. Game's over for you. Go ahead and put him out there for the just in case. Chandra gives me the draw. It's just look at all these triggers. I love triggers. Go ahead. Now he does let this go on. I've actually got to get the kill on him, I believe, but I have it right here. I mean, it's all over the crying, as they say. Two cards in hand for him. Ooh, three cards in hand, but it doesn't matter. There's not a lot you're going to do. There he goes. Enforce Justice, a great name. Time for us to go again. So this guy, again, we got the Thraxodemons, we got Shoulder, we got the Virtue. It's not the best hand to keep, but it's not a bad hand either. Like, there's so much draw potential. I'm going to waste 2 turns getting Thraxodemon out. It's fine. Leonin Vanguard. I really like the self-life gain of that card. Ajani's Pride Mate, uh, Essence of Strength. There's a lot of guys that take advantage of life gain, and him doing it for essentially free is very nice, as they say. And again, we're looking at the Duskmourn Playground. Again, Duskmourn was a pretty good set. 80s horror genre theme. I believe we all got a little nostalgic with it. He's got 2 young Vanguards he's putting up. Now, this could be dangerous. Just because of the life gain aspect, needs one more creature to fire it. But honestly, I'm not letting him get there. So, he gets second Vanguard. He pings me, At this point, I'm thinking I can't let this continue because, like I said, 3 doesn't make it a wrap, but 3 definitely puts board heavily pressured on me. Now, I will say, I will congratulate WotC on a couple things. When they released Aether Thread, not only is the set itself, I wouldn't say it's a banger. Again, lore sucks. It's a hat set, really. But when it comes to Arena specifically, they actually start putting some work on it. It's been a long time since we got some nice art. We got some nice animations, although they weren't seen on this set of games. Uh, Felt like the servers a lot less clunkier. Like maybe some server improvements. Maybe they replaced some servers. And then they came out with the achievement systems, top notch, especially for being free. Okay, so now I'm thinking I've got to get rid of his stuff. I can't let even one Vanguard hook around because that's obviously what he's trying to do. But I'm not going to waste my Black Sun on it yet. Again, I wait until I get a mode 5 off that because recursion. And I can't believe that he's got to be mana screwed because I should not be. I'm not getting far ahead, don't say that. I don't want to say it. But I shouldn't be getting far ahead like I am. Because again, my board is nowhere near established, but he has nothing. He's not even got anything he's building towards at this point. I've got nothing but options at this point. Laying my swamp, I could shielded him to get rid of the pride range, so I do, or I could have unholy annexed just to get the draw advantage going and paying and gain life for because I felt like it. So nothing but options, and he is kind of locked out. And I get it, 2 lands on turn 5. It's not where anybody wants to be. But playing white, which usually runs mana thin, and yeah, most people build decks in a ring with the same amount of mana, so same mana thin is kind of misstating it. But oh, I'm going to break my rule here. Here comes Black Sun only for 2, only because I was so far ahead, and I felt like keeping the pressure going was more beneficial than playing the trick how I wanted. Spoiler alert, it does work out for me. So, here we go. Game is pretty much over. Doesn't matter what he does. And he realizes, goodbye. Thank you. Lose again. And we're back on the board. This hand, again, not the greatest, not the worst. Harvester. I'm still trying to master the best situations to play him. But again, he's mostly in there just for his demon aspect. He's not completely horrible. 3-2 for 3 is a little on the, oh, what the hell you do inside? But bringing things back from the graveyard to the battlefield, I mean, what is the drawback for him for that? It's got to have died that turn. You can only have one such creature at a time. For 3 mana, that's like banging. Uh, this guy plots his card. I'm not worried about plot right now. I'm trying to move my board forward. Honestly, I wasn't paying attention either, but it still works out. And he's got my favorite card back, Vivian Reed. Very nice. Very nice. So, he's getting a lot of triggers, but not a lot of interaction. And triggers in and of themselves are not always the best thing you want. Interaction is. Right now, we're both playing solitaire, and you can see that in a lot of games that I fall into that trap as well. Magic is a multiplayer game, not a solitaire game. When you're playing solitaire, you're not playing well. Now, sometimes you have to play solitaire because you've got to build your board. Just running in there like a ham-fisted idiot is not going to get it. I'm kind of thinking what I want to do here. I got 5 when it's my turn. If he attacks, which he ends up only attacking, but he does attack the turn. I take his outcast and I make him sacrifice because he didn't possibly know what Obliterator did, because this pretty much seals game for me at this point. But we'll let it play out. But I was mostly thinking about what I was going to do if he didn't attack. Because here's the thing: if he didn't attack, and I take the Trailblazer instead of the Farmer, because if he has no combat trick, that means that I get to keep my Obliterator also to next round. So if he continues to attack, I can just make his life not worth living. Uh, he'll run out of time, as they say. But I'm thinking what I can do. I could have abyssal, or I could have abyssal that Trailblazer out of the graveyard. I think that's how the card works. Again, I don't really use it a lot, but I thought about it. It didn't seem worth it to me. I don't know why, but I went anyway, so it's okay. He just experiences why I play the Obliterator, and he's like, okay, don't do that again. We're going to go ahead and throw the Annex, which is what I've been waiting to do for a minute, and of course I've got to get my licks in. And now I've got nothing but good vibrations. He's got to do something. He has got to answer me this, and he doesn't. Mossborn Hydra. I have so many mixed feelings with the card. Like, I love it as a card in a vacuum. I really try to design decks to play with it. It doesn't really work out how you think it would. Like the old saying of "it does the removal" not only applies to this, but it takes a while for it to build up. It's easy to deal with. I mean, normally I love cards that have unlimited power, but Mossburn Hydra just, I don't know why. I play against it and I get around it all the time. And it's aggravating because I really like the card and I want to play it in my decks, and I have the same issue. It just doesn't survive. Uh, but I digress. Maybe I'll get it right one day. Now, he thinks he gets me with this Assassin's Trophy, and I feel so bad for what I'm about to do to him. Why would you not take the land off Assassin's Trophy? Okay. Oh, he saw what I was about to do. Can you guess it? Okay. It's going to get the Obliterator back. Here we are. Again, this is not a horrible hand. The Thane, the Bronco, both very good cards that we haven't really talked about yet. The Thane, I don't know. It's really weird to me that for a hot minute in a few sets they started using the once per turn little moniker in there. And I don't know if it was their way of cutting power level or what, but you see a lot of cards with that on them. But it's alright. Like I said, still a great card. 2 for 2. Uh, hits and gains life if other things die. I always love that. The Vengeant Vampire and other cards in the past that I would build decks around. Same idea. The Caustic Bronco is really weird. Saddle cost of 3 is what throws me off on it, and a lot of times I'll play it without that, and then I'll go, after I'll get the lane and I won't take damage, and that's why I take damage, and then I finally get the saddle cost, and then I always hit banned. It's aggravating, but again, uh, statistically, it's a thing, and you know, it is what it is. Now, even though I win, I regret that play there. I should have gone with Shieldred. I should have tried to pile on the damage. I don't know what I was thinking, but option works out. Now, I always hate this in rear. This dude is playing 250 cards, and I haven't scanned this deck to see how many cards Stash was, but just looking at the huge stack there, it's 250 cards. Why do you do this? The only thing that happens, you either lose quick or you make the game take 3 hours. Uh, Ain't nobody got time for that. So he's trying to play out whatever he's doing. I would say it looks like some type of domain deck, but I'm not seeing domain. But usually that's what you see with all these different lands. Children, and of course I'm going to have to saddle my Bronco. Oh, just call me O.J. Simpson. The Bronco got me out of there. Next game. This hand, I am really bad at choosing mulligans. I won, so this hand was okay, but honestly, what was I thinking or why it was okay to keep this hand is kind of what I'm questioning watching this. But I'm playing against Cheech and Chong, apparently, at least one of them. There goes the thing we've talked about. If he was a demon, he'd be so good in this deck, but I like him anyway. And right now, I gotta be just, I hope I top deck a land. I hope I'm top, and I do. Uh, I feel like I have no choice but to go with that annex because, again, I need land. So I'm going to go ahead and take the damage to get the extra draw. And it doesn't seem like he's doing anything. Some Evolving Wilds. But I digress. And I got my fourth land. That's all I wanted, all I needed. That opens some possibilities. And then I play smart. I go directly for the Shieldred. He could have Kill Spell on the stick like Liliana or Murder or Fell or whatever. But that's no never mind right now. I've got the pressure on. And again, like I said, I love Mossburn Hydra. I hate to insult people that play it, especially people that do stuff like this, turn off expanse into another land, fill passage into another land, blah, 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 and boost this thing up. But it dies to removal, and that's what happens every time. I can't Black Sun it, but I can't obliterate it. Go ahead and attack with Apocalypse because if he blocks, the Hydra dries, and I keep my Children. So he's taking 4 damage and a 2 from a draw, and that pretty much buys me the game, folks. He can't attack with the Mossborn, or else I'm going to obliterate it. Even if it survives, because it would be an 8 at that point, he doesn't want to see the outcome of it. And there's the passage, the other sheet on it. Also like to use Loot with it. Loot lets you play double lands. That helps out your Hydra build. And plus you can hit Loot's ability to dig through deck for a creature. Or I'll play Blossoming Tortoise, get extra land every turn, double it again. Lower Primal Bellow pairs well with it, but Laura's got its own issues. High casting costs, in my opinion, low payoff because it only does the dump and bring back from the graveyard once. If you're doing all that, you better also throw Titania in there and Aragoth. But again, it's all about how you want it. I was feeling pretty crappy at this point. That could have been a loss, but nope, it's not, because there comes the win. Boom, baby, in the bag. Go ahead and keep my little score here. And thank you all for playing. I will talk to you later.